certain cases in there's certain cases where you feel like a character is dumbed down in a sequel compared to how they were portrayed before. I talked about this already a little bit when I discussed the character 4, when I talked about the fact that for Love and Thunder feels like 4 just became so over the top and goofy that he just became the punchline of the joke. When I was talking about cases where a movie is tonally inconsistent, I talked about For Love and Thunder. Here, I want to focus in on the way that For's character is just dumbed down. The reason why I say that is because you have the character doing a John Van Damme split kick. You have Zeus flicking off Thor's clothes in front of all these people. You have Jane coming back as temporarily the new Thor with Thor's old hammer, Mjolnir, that he no longer uses anymore because he is Stormbreaker. And then we see in the movie there's literally a love triangle, or just a competition between Mjolnir and Stormbreaker in regards to which one of them is going to be Thor's hammer. It's like, wow. Thor Ragnarok, if we're being to be honest, already dumbed down Thor's character somewhat. He became a lot goofier, but this is just taking it to the next level where Thor is just so goofy for the most part. I mean, when you get to the end, okay, sure, Thor's not goofy then when he's saying goodbye to Jane, and then in the end, we learn he has a daughter, which I thought was a nice way to end the movie. It's a nice, sweet, heartwarming note to end on, but overall, just feels to me like Thor's character really got dumbed down. But other than that, there's a few other examples. One of them being actually Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. This is a movie that has a pretty high Rotten Tomatoes score, but when I watched the movie, I was really disappointed by it because in the first two How to Train Your Dragon movies, they make it seem like Toothless and Hiccup are friends. It doesn't feel like Hiccup is Toothless's master or that Toothless is a pet, a dog or a cat. No, they portray Toothless as more intelligent, quite protective of Hiccup. You see this especially at the end of the second movie. But then you get to the Hidden World, and there's literally a moment in the movie where Hiccup treats Toothless like a person would treat a dog. They play fetch, and then on top of that, the movie says that, oh, Toothless is so overwhelmed by an instinct to be with this female dragon that that's all he can think about. And then on top of that, the movie makes it seem like, oh, Toothless, like the other dragons, is a wild animal that needs to be set free. It feels to me like the people who made Hidden World realized that the books end in a certain way. So they're like, well, we gotta have the movies end this way without stopping to ask themselves, does this actually make sense after what we saw in the first two movies and the DreamWorks Dragons TV show? Then when you look at Aquaman in the second film, as I talked about in my review for that movie, it felt to me like Aquaman got dumbed down. I mean, the fact that the filmmakers chose to multiple times in the movie have a joke where Aquaman gets pee in his mouth from his baby, and then he feels like just the wisecracking, smart aleck surfboarding bro that can't ever take anything seriously, that's just goofy. That's the way Aquaman is portrayed, and so it feels to me like the character got dumbed down. When you look at the first film, I mean, we have more lighthearted moments, sure, but to me, Aquaman doesn't feel as goofy as he did in the second film.